Welcome to the Evil Pajamas Try Stuff review of the digital deck building game Dark Mist, not to be confused with Alternate Universe McLovin. As a point of reference, I'm going to be using Slay the Spire as the standard comparison. The reason for this is simply because it is probably the most familiar game for anyone that has tried a purely digital deck building game. In terms of mechanics, Dark Mist has much more of a card game feel. And what I mean by this is that, like traditional card games, the enemies are literally card portraits, and in that way it feels almost like a port of a physical card game. Now, if you like Slay the Spire because it was easy to pick up and had a very light learning curve, this game is going to feel like a much heavier lift. Conversely, if your joy in life is playing games where the cards are filled with keywords and complex mechanics, then get ready for some joyful wonder walls of text. So there's two mechanics that probably really differentiate this title. The first is that the game uses a unique mechanic which I have seen used in some physical board games, where your life pool is literally your deck of cards. Now, luckily in this game, most of the time you can get those cards back by just defeating the monster that damaged you. I say luckily because I consider this to be a good thing. But if you're a hardcore Gloomhaven fanatic, then maybe you like it that your cards go away for good. Now, second, the monsters appear in three columns and drop as the monsters below them are defeated. And this adds for some pretty significant planning elements in the order in which to kill things. And this also adds complexity because the monsters have a wide variety of triggered abilities and persistent effects that you also have to consider when you are planning out your kill order. One element that I found to be strictly a negative is the lack of any type of strategic map between the battles. The game progresses from stage to stage, which is the shop in between. There's no overworld map. You do get to shop between every stage, so that does offset this a bit in terms of not limiting your customization of your deck. And on the positive side, certain monsters do trigger encounters in mid-battle, and these monsters are usually flagged in some way so that you can plan for this, and it adds another layer of strategy to the actual gameplay. I haven't completed all the unlocks in the game yet, but I found that the items, which are just pretty much like relics in Slay the Spire, to be about on par, maybe a little bit worse than Slay the Spire. And what I mean a little bit by a little bit worse is that I haven't necessarily run across a lot of items so far that are fun to center like your entire build around. That said, the increased complexity of the cards themselves does offset this. I found that you can actually build much more powerful, practically infinite combos in Dark Mist, in comparison to what you might find in a game with simpler mechanics for the cards. So overall, if you enjoyed Slay the Spire and don't mind investing time into a heavier learning curve, this game is a good value at the non-sale price of $9.99. If you are a more action-oriented player, this title might be a bit on the slow side, and you'd probably want to give it a pass. So overall, I found it to be a positive game experience. Hope this video review was useful for you, and if you liked the review, please click like, and if you'd like to see more content like this, please hit subscribe. Thanks.